Okay, we are in Batavia in Genesee County. You guys can clap if you want to right now. There we go. Thank you. Yes. And we are now at another full sharp stop. This one is number, I think, 52. It is insane how much we're doing, and it's a good thing that we're doing it, right? We're trying to cover the entire state yet again. 8 events these last 2 days, 6 in the next 2. And then I get to go home for a little bit for Thanksgiving, which is nice. But then a week later, I'm back out again to wrap it up and do all 62 counties. Why in the world would I want to do all the counties? It's an important reason why. And some of it's symbolic. Some of it is. Some of it's real, or real reason, and some of it's symbolic. The symbolic issue is I talk trash all the time. I do. I talk the talk about caring about every county, about counties being counties, about localization, allowing people to have more money locally. I talk about it always. And if I don't also walk the walk, people are not going to believe my talk. So I've got to be out there supporting the counties and saying that I care every single year. And I've been doing it now. This is my 5th year doing it. Keep doing it again and again and again. 4th year doing it. And I just keep doing it. But there's something else. We've heard our leaders recently talk about what's important to New Yorkers. Talk about it all the time. They do press conferences. My mayor, Bill de Blasio, the delusional one, he will, without question, tell us he knows what's right. And we're very lucky because our governor, Her Majesty Queen Hochul, she speaks directly to God. So that's wonderful, as she's told us before. So awesome for us. But she says that she knows what New Yorkers care about. And what she said more than once, and what he said more than once, is what New Yorkers care about more than anything else is the safety of their kids going to school. Worried about COVID, it's the #1 issue, going to school. It's not the #1 issue for parents. It just isn't. Not for New Yorkers. First off, not every New Yorker is a parent. #1. Not every New Yorker is a parent. #1. But on top of that, that's the #1 issue. Do parents care about COVID? Yes. Do people care about COVID? Yes, of course they do. Is that New Yorkers' #1 issue? No, it's not. Do they want to make sure they're safe in school? Of course they do. But she has made that the #1 issue. And what do people feel like? They feel like, are you even hearing me? The #1 issue for New Yorkers across this state, and I meet them every single year, again and again and again, it's almost always one of 2 things: economy or education. And the economy is based on several things: taxes, lack of opportunity, and people leaving this state. That's what New Yorkers care about: taxes, lack of opportunity, and people leaving this state. That's their top. Then comes like education, because that also goes into opportunity and people leaving this state. Those are the critical aspects that we're dealing with, and people aren't talking about it. Now, I would ask you, any Republican or Democrat you're talking to, what are they going to say? All the Democrats going to say is, we got to have more mandates and lock more things down. That's what matters. Which Republicans going to say, no mandates, don't lock anything down. That's great. I love that. Awesome. They've got these wonderful ideas. But what are they going to do to fix anything? How do we come out of this? How do we come out of this? How do we grow the actual counties? And I don't only mean financially. Of course I mean financially, but not only. How about socially again? What the COVID lockdowns have done is exacerbate the division between people deeper than it's ever been. Now, not only is it left versus right, red team versus blue team, but now it's mask versus not mask, vax versus not vax. They've added reasons for us to be angry with each other. Now, do I actually care if you want to be anti-vax or not anti-vax, whatever? It's up to you. I'm pro-consent. That's my #1 issue. Do what you feel is right for your health. I'm fine with that. But my bigger issue is, why do I have to hate you if you're not what I am? Why do I have to be extra angry at you because you're not what I am? Or worse, why are you crazy if you're not what I am? Why are you mean or nasty if you're not what I am? So now, if you wear a mask, you're crazy. If you don't wear a mask, you're crazy. If you wear a mask, you're a mind-numb drone. If you don't wear a mask, you're a mind-numb drone. Or maybe you just care and want to wear a mask, or maybe you don't think it's important, you don't want to. What this did was make the division. We see it throughout New York State. We see it throughout the country. How do we do it? There are many reasons why I'm trying to make this happen. and run for office. Many reasons why. But one of the biggest ones, which some of you will think is some hyperbole, but it's true. This country is having more and more problems. This state is seeing it, more and more problems. And the problems aren't only based upon my or your or his or her ideology, but it's based on the fact that we can't talk to each other. We can't go back and forth. And if we can't talk to each other, how can we solve problems? We can't. If you're on the left, you go talk to the right, no one wants to hear you. You're on the right, you talk to the left, nobody wants to hear you. But here's the actual secret that people don't want to tell you. Most of us actually aren't on the left or the right. Most of us aren't. We just fall into a tribe that seems to be closest to us. We blame the other because it makes us feel good like we're doing something. And we vote against people versus for something. How do we fix that? Third party. That's how we fix it. Now, Larry, how can you say third party is the answer? I'm going to tell you how I can say it. I'm not making this up. This is what really happens. If any of you ever been, it's going to sound funny, but you'll get it if you've been through it. Anybody who's watching or anybody here, have you been ever through couples counseling? Couples there. And if you have, what you'll see, here is what a bad couples therapist does. Okay, you're mad at her. Okay, what could he do to make it better? Oh, he could do that. Great. Will you do that? Only if she does this. Okay, will you do that to make? Oh, only if he does that. Now, each is fighting each other. Both are trying to compromise. Both are losing. Both are angry. Neither of them actually does it. And that's why 80 to 90% of all couples therapy fails. How do you get a good couples therapist? The first thing that the couples therapist has to do is create a third entity. An entity often is the relationship. So instead of saying to the boyfriend or the girlfriend, hey, what are you mad about? What about this? No. Instead you say, do you care about this relationship? Only if he does. No. What if he doesn't? Do you care about the relationship? I do. Great. Do you care about the relationship? I do. Awesome. Now I have a third party, a third entity to talk about in that room that no one's angry at. That now we can have a conversation about. That now we can think about fixing things. Just doing that begins to have a conversation. The Libertarian Party is that entity. We are the ones who can actually heal things. We're the ones who can actually fix things. Larry, you're just saying that. Nope, I'm going to give you actual answer, actual proof of this. Data, proof. Death of George Floyd. George Floyd dies. What happens? The left yells, defund the police. The right yells, back the blue. Nothing gets solved. Now that's deeper than ever. Who did say something? The one Libertarian congressman we had, Justin Amash. He actually said something. He said, hey, I have an idea. Let's try to fix a problem. And he talked about the idea of ending qualified immunity. And he put a bill together. Now, he was the only Libertarian. He didn't run anything. So he had to go to people on the left and people on the right and talk to him. And guess what? They spoke to him because he wasn't an evil Republican or an evil Democrat. He was some crazy Libertarian. And they spoke to him. And he got Republicans to sign off on it. And he got Democrats to sign off on it. That's what actually happened. And then he said, great, I have this bill. The first and only tripartisan bill, which was there to solve a problem. And the Democrat, Nancy Pelosi, and Republican at the time was Mitch McConnell. They said, no, not doing that. And it died. The Libertarians were the only people who could have fixed this. We could have had an actual time to start fixing problems. Was that the perfect bill? I don't know. But imagine if we at least debated it, voted on it. Now we're talking about solving a problem. What has changed since George Floyd? Yeah, nothing. Why would you? Why would you change it when all you have to do is say, see, the Democrats are trying to kill you. See, the Republicans are trying to kill you. Why solve anything? But he was going to do that. Well, Larry, how are you going to do that? Here's how. If I actually win this election, what's going to happen right away is a couple of state senators here in New York State going to switch their party to Libertarian. That is going to happen. Why would they do it? Because they're going to go from right now, which most Democrats, Republicans in all government are simply mind-numb robots who do whatever their leaders tell them, and they vote how their leaders tell them to vote. And that's what they do down party line. They don't care about you. They don't care about us. What did my leadership say? Check box on that vote. Well, you can be 3 or 4 libertarians in our state Senate, and guess what? You run the Senate. You just swing vote. You can vote your conscience. You can vote what you want, because we're not going to yell at you and go, you better vote our way. Well, some of our people will, but most of us won't do that, right? So now they can do that. So we'll own the Senate and we'll own the governor's house. Not the assembly, that'll be challenged, but we'll have those two, which means now we can talk about solving problems. But Larry, I don't believe you can win. Okay, you're wrong, but that's okay. You don't believe it. It's okay, you don't believe it, no worries. What if I even just come in second? Think about what will happen. People will spend their time talking about my ideas and issues to solve things, not just Democrat bad, Republican bad, to solve things. We'll have actual conversations. Man, that would be nice, wouldn't it? What if I don't even come in second, but I get in debate stage? Same thing. You want to change this state, you want to change this nation, the first thing you must do is create a third party that can actually function and work and begin to fix problems. So Larry, you can't be the only guy. You're right. And I'll give you proof of that too. 2018, I lost. Barely. Kidding. I lost. But we won ballot access. So what did I do the year after? Some of you don't know this. All of you know this. I literally came across the state again. I crossed the state in 2019 again. And we had a total of 103 victories in this state. Now, many of them were fusion. And some of you don't know that means they were libertarian and something else. But there were about 8 or 9 actual libertarians, not fusion candidates, who won. And over 100 if you count fusion in New York State, from 0 to 103. Imagine if I do even better this time. And I crossed the state. Now we'll have 200, 300 victories. Even more important, if I do well enough, now I cross the country. And we have 2,000, 3,000 victories, all at local levels. Local levels, fixing local problems with libertarian ideas. Showing people at local level, if libertarians are in charge, the world doesn't end. Oh my God, there's no zombie apocalypse because libertarians are in charge. In fact, things get a whole lot better. And we have better conversations to fix things. We can change the entire nation. Larry, you tell me that your race is the most important race in 2022? Yes, that's what I'm telling you. The most important race. Over all of them. Most possible impact. Over all of them. Without question. You don't like that? I don't know why you're watching. I don't know why you came. I don't know why you came if you don't believe that. It's the most important one, without question. So I'm asking you all to think about that. Think how important a third party is. Think how important the Libertarian Party is. It's the only party that, if it's a third party, you don't have to convert. You don't have to. You can be as liberal or as conservative as you want to be. Just don't force your views on others. Join us. Larry, I'm really conservative. Awesome. Do you think it's the government's job to force everyone to be conservative? No, you're a libertarian. I do think it is. You're a Republican. Thank you. Got it. I'm super liberal. Okay, great. You're super liberal. Do you think it's the government's job to make everything liberal? I do. You're a Democrat. Got it. I don't, Larry. It's my job to make people more liberal. Awesome. Libertarian. No worries. That's who we are. That's why it will work. Guys, thank you so much for coming. Thank you all for watching. It's late. I'm sorry for the short. Thank you, guys.